classrooms today. So it's not enough just to have great curriculum and instruction now. We need to make sure we support it with 21st century subjects, life and career skills, learning and innovation skills, the 4 C's of critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity, and also engaging them in a lot of information media and technology skills. So I encourage you to check out p21.org. So a lot of people have heard project-based learning and challenge-based learning. It's talked a lot about in education today. So I just wanted to make sure that we kind of distinguish the difference between project-based and challenge-based learning, and then talk about different ways that we can engage our kids in challenge-based learning opportunities. So I used to be a classroom teacher. I taught for 6 years prior to coming to Discovery, and I actually used a lot of project-based learning in my classroom. And project-based learning is really those box sets, right? Like we order a kit and we're going to walk our kids through some kind of simulation. Project-based learning is very student-centered, which is fabulous. It's complex and still multifaceted, but the role of the instructor is that of the facilitator of learning. So it's kind of like a bucketed approach. Like we kind of know what's going to happen in the end. It's not really authentic, although it gives examples of like building businesses, but it's not really asking kids to find a business in their community. So project-based learning is more of learning in a box, which is a really great step, and it's a great beginning step as you start off in this direction of kind of changing the direction in your classroom. Challenge-based learning really focuses on increasing student engagement, especially for those kids that are most at risk of dropping out. We have to admit that our students sometimes don't find, the topics that are coming out of our current textbooks the most engaging. So challenge-based learning is a very collaborative learning experience where they all work together on some compelling issue or some real problem that impacts their community or what they feel is most important to the world. And most importantly, it encourages those kids to take action beyond the completion of the project. What are they going to do to make a real difference? It also asks students to really reflect on their learning and the impact that their actions can have, in addition to publishing their solutions to a worldwide audience. So project-based learning, everybody in the class kind of knows how the project ends, but in challenge-based learning, we're actually going to share it out with the world. And I love the story. I don't know how many of you are fans of McDonald's on the line, but McDonald's, how many of you remember the styrofoam boxes that they used to have? Now they actually use paper or lighter cardboard, and that was because students did a project about the impact that styrofoam has in the environment. So it's really opportunities. That's a really great example of challenge-based learning. So really, what is the big difference? Julene Reed is a name that you should probably write down in Google. She did some fabulous research on project-based learning. But I wanted to share, she put together this really great table for everybody to kind of see. I'll let you just take a moment to kind of take a look at. You'll see a lot of similarities and then a few things that will really stand out. For example, the third line down, learning focuses on expected outcomes in project-based learning. We kind of know how they're going to end or how they should end. But challenge-based learning could change. Like we might think it's going to go in one direction, but by the end we realize that the community or our environment or our world needs a different solution. Project-based learning is very simulated, where challenge-based learning is very authentic and real-world problems. In addition to project-based learning, we're kind of giving our kids the resources that they need to solve those problems, but in challenge-based learning, we're actually asking them to go out and talk to experts, find resources, use a variety of different tools to solve their problems. And I think really one of the biggest things here is project-based learning being concept-orientated, being we're just working on building a business, and this is what it's kind of like, where challenge-based learning is really actually having them take the steps to research what business might be needed in their neighborhood, and then actually developing that business and actually maybe opening a store. So just a really great graph to understand and show the difference between the two. There's another great website for you called